Alright guys, today we're at So Grande playing Almenara Golf Club. I'm going to be taking you through my what's in the bag for 2025 as a +2 handicap golfer. This has been a highly requested video from some of your comments, so I'm excited to take you through it. First up from the tee, we have driver. Now I have my lucky head cover on this. This is Cassie the cow.
This is my head cover that Cam commandeered when we first got together and I never got it back.
I just refused to buy another head cover. I love this one. And underneath it is my TSR3. Now I absolutely love this driver. I have a Ventus Black 6X shaft on it and I absolutely love it for shot making off the tee. Now I am thinking about trying G's GT3 head on this driver, but she hasn't quite given me a shot of it yet.
Because it's not enough that you've got my head cover, you also want to take my driver head.
I would quite like to, yeah.
But
I'm going to stick with this because I've been hitting it absolutely amazing the last couple of months. So I'm almost like, I really don't want to change because I've been hitting it so well, but I think it's kind of because of the swing changes that I've made that I'm hitting it well. And maybe with a GT head, I might be able to get a little bit of extra distance on it.
You're very much a Titleist man with the driver.
I am, yeah. I've had Titleist drivers pretty much all my life, apart from one Callaway driver that I had a little while ago. I absolutely love the simple look of them. I love looking down and just having a very simple head to look at. Like the Titleist drivers have a very classic look and I really like that about them.
They rarely change their look as well.
They do, yes. So they've been pretty consistent. I had the 913 first of all. So when I first was a junior, I had a 913.
That's a throwback.
That is a big throwback. That was my favorite driver that I've ever had. I did not miss a fairway with that thing. This one I miss a few more fairways with, but overall it's really consistent. It's a 9-degree head, but it's set a degree up, so it's 10 degrees at the moment because I hit quite far down on it. So I tend to launch the ball quite low, but my coach recommended that I set it a little bit higher to try and get a little bit more hang time on the ball.
That loft change is actually a recent thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I only did that probably about 2 months ago, and it's made such a difference to my driving. I feel like I can definitely get a bit more workability in the ball. I can hit a high bomb and I can hit my little low slider that I like to hit as well, even with the extra loft.
So with this hole, what shot are we going for?
I'm going for a little slider on this one.
Ooh.
A little low slider off the bunker on the left. Now with the low slider, I tend to just pop the ball position back and open up the stance a little bit, and that just kind of gives me a little bit of room to work with, kind of taking it more across the line and de-lofting it ever so slightly. Just like that. Yeah. This hole really suits my eye, so I'm glad we're doing the driver on this hole.
Great shot.
Thank you. So also off the tee, I do have the option of these driving irons. Now these are the TaylorMade UDI driving irons from 2024. I have a 2 and a 3 iron. The 2 iron is 17 degrees and the 3 iron is 20 degrees. I absolutely love hitting these off the tee because I can hit them low, I can hit them high, I can draw them and I can fade them. And they tend not to go as far offline as my driver does sometimes. So I do absolutely love these clubs. These are my absolute favorite. They have a 90-gram extra stiff shaft in them, both exactly the same shafts, just slightly shorter on the 3 iron. Let's see if I can hit a stinger down this hole. It's a little tight one. Let's see if I can get one down the fairway.
So this is the 2 or the 3?
This is the 2 iron. I usually like this one on a kind of tighter hole where it's maybe tree lined on both sides. I can definitely hit this one a little bit lower. The 3 iron I like to launch a little bit higher. Just taking this one down the left center of the fairway and play it pretty low, I think.
Yeah. That was a really nice shot.
That was a pretty standard shot for me there. That was a good one.
Yeah, so those kind of irons are perfect for holes like this where driver's going to be too much.
Absolutely.
Why not a wood? Because you haven't got any woods in the bag.
So I really struggle with the visuals of a wood. I did have a 3 wood for a long time and I just felt like I couldn't hit it that well. The dispersion on it was a lot wider than my 3 iron at the time. I did have a 3 wood and a 3 iron, but I went to 2 iron instead just because the dispersion on it was a lot less than a 3 wood. Also, I'm used to playing in St Andrews. The par 5s aren't as long, and so I didn't really need a 3 wood.
Yeah.
And I was finding myself hitting 2 or 3 iron into most of the par 5 greens or a longer iron. And I feel like 2 iron just gives me a really good club off the tee, and also from the fairway it works really well.
Sneaky fun fact about those 2 driving irons is actually they weren't necessarily the spec that you were expecting. So shout out Emma from TaylorMade. I kind of sent over the shot that you wanted to hit with that, and she just kind of magicked up this club. It was a different shaft than what you were expecting.
It was. So previously I haven't liked graphite shafts in a driving iron, but with these 2 I've absolutely loved having a little bit of a lighter shaft in them. It gives me the workability on the ball flight versus what I had before, which was a Project X 6.5 shaft in my 3 iron. I felt like that only went low, whereas these ones I can hit low or high.
We said to Emma, we were just like, something that you can hit low is super low spin, and then she just made it. So it's kind of testimony to like, you might think you know what's good for you, but
you definitely don't until you've tried a few different things.
Yeah, like club fitters are experts. So, you know, if you're a little bit unsure, see what they've got to offer.
Exactly. Yeah, they know best. I like low spinning shafts, and I've tried these ones and they work so well. So I'm really happy with them.
And that is the perfect iron for you.
They are.
Perfect
They're my favorite two clubs in the bag. So even though I have a 2-iron and a 3-iron, I still love hitting these clubs off the tee and on the fairway as well. And I really love the workability of them in that I am able to still hit them off the fairway, because that is a problem with some driving irons that I've had in the past, is that they do look a little bit scary to hit off fairways. But with these ones, I just find that they have a little bit of a back to them. They look really good from the fairway and I'm really comfortable hitting them.
Say for example, my 3-wood, I can hit it off a tee, but I never really like hitting it off the fairway, but you just don't even have that with your 2-iron.
I don't. I almost prefer it off the fairway, because then I can hit it high and I can hit it low. I tend to like hitting the lower ones from the fairway and then hitting the higher ones from a tee, because I can control the tee height. But I do love just hitting them off of every lie. That's just how good these clubs are.
And just a little side note, I'm not able to do a what's in the bag because part of my job is that I review golf equipment, and I do my what's in the bags over on that channel, so I can't do that here. However, where that driving iron came from is I actually tried it. I tried the 4 and the 3, and something that I think a lot of people always think with driving irons is you need a super fast swing and you need to hit it like really, really pure. I don't have a fast swing, and I don't always hit it from the center. You know, I'm not like the purest golfer out there, but actually I really, really like those driving irons.
Often my best shots with this club come from like the smoothest swings as well. Nice gentle swings and not getting too aggressive with it.
Yeah, and I think when I tested those out initially over on the Golf Lot channel, I think the title of it was like, we never thought we'd shoot this video, because when I started the job I was like, yeah, I can't hit driving irons. That driving iron, it's really nice, really forgiving, super, super soft. Would recommend. Don't think that just because he's a baller, that's the only reason he can hit it. If you're interested in a driving iron, I would recommend those. If there was ever a hole to talk about your irons, it's this cool little par 3.
It is, yeah. It's a tiny little green here, so it's a real test of accuracy for my irons, which I don't know if I have, but
you do.
These irons are definitely the most comfortable that I've felt with irons in the past. So what I have is the Titleist T100. Now I have these irons from 4 to pitching wedge, and then I will talk about my wedges later on. I basically had the AP2s, which I got in 2018, and I had them up until summer 2023 when G got the T150s.
And Cam got jealous.
And about a week later, I was like, I'm just gonna book myself for a fitting with Titleist because I really want the new clubs. And I basically just got the new model in exactly the same spec as what I had. I've always had the Golf Pride grips in blue, and I feel just very comfortable with them. I don't know why blue, because...
It's because everything you wear is navy, so it matches.
This is true. It matches my outfits very well. We'll pretend that's why. But I also have the Product X 6.5 shafts in, which I have had in multiple different iron models in the past, and they just feel very natural for me. I have tried a few different iron shafts, but overall, I've never found one that I like as much as that. They're standard loft, but the lie angle is 1 degree upright, because basically I get a little bit crouched over when I'm not swinging it so well. So that's just to help me correct that and to make sure that I'm starting the ball off on the right line.
Sounds like they're pretty good. Let's see if we can put it into action.
It does. I'm feeling a little bit of pressure on this shot.
No.
Let's see if we can hit the green on this really beautiful par 3.
It's good.
Tell you what, that's a good strike.
Oh, close.
About 2 yards short.
Hey, at least because you missed the green, you can talk about your wedges now.
Exactly, we'll go up and talk about the wedges on the green. So moving on to wedges, I play 3 SM9 Titleist wedges. There's a bit of a Titleist theme going on in my bag, apart from the putter and the driving irons. Now, I tend to change my wedges every year or so, so I am working a model behind, because obviously there is the SM10s out. I will probably look to upgrade these in a little bit once the grooves have worn out, because I tend to practice enough that they do wear out 12, 18 months after I bought them. I have them in a 50 degree, a 54 degree, and then a 60 degree. Now, there is an irregular gap there, but the 60 degree I feel like really allows me to play bunker shots from some of the deep bunkers in St Andrews and in Aberdeen, where I play most of my golf. And then the other wedges kind of give me a bit of versatility for the longer shots. I tend to not really use them around the green as much. So I've got 54 in my hands here. I've just got a little delicate little chip and run here from the front of the screen. Just looking to play this kind of off the back foot and just kind of drop it down, let it chase out with this one.
Shot.
Kind of just like that.
Easy. I think that's a gimme.
Perfect.
And is it the same shafts as your irons?
It's not.
Ooh.
Now, some people might be surprised by this, but I've never actually been to a custom fitting for wedges. So these are pretty much just the ones you can buy off the shelf from Titleist. And that's maybe something that I should look towards in the future, but I've always just kind of been maybe a little bit cheap about it, and I've just looked for the best deal on wedges because I know I go through them quite quickly. And when you're buying a new wedge every 12 months, it does add up when you've got 3 of them.
So coming on to Cam's putter, it's actually me who has chosen that putter for you.
It was, yeah. I've always played with a blade putter, but you convinced me to go for a mallet.
Essentially, Cam had a period of time where you were an incredible putter,
Yeah.
and then you had a few rounds where you kind of just lost it a touch.
Yeah, lost my confidence with the kind of style of putter that I had. I had a Scotty Cameron Newport 2. It's like a real bladed putter with a really thin grip on it, and I loved it. And I had it for about 10 years, but just lost confidence with it for a period of about 6 weeks and decided to give something different a go.
And it wasn't even necessarily that this particular putter Cam really wanted. It was more just that was one of the putters that I had. You gave it a go and you loved it.
And now I've got it. So what I have in my hands is a TaylorMade Spider Tour Z 33-inch putter. It's a little bit shorter because obviously it was yours. It's got a bit of a thicker grip on it. It's got a Super Stroke Pistol 1 grip on it. I absolutely love this putter.
You putt so well with it.
I do. I really do. I don't want to talk myself up, but I do really love this putter. I love the alignment on the face in that it just goes straight into the ball with the line on the top of the putter. And I just love how it sits as well. It just suits my putting stroke very well. And I feel like I've got a lot of confidence in it, which is a big thing in putting.
It's a super, super soft insert as well, the face of it.
Yeah. What I loved about my old putter was I was very good with pace control, especially if you've seen our videos on our channel. I putt from off the green a lot, and that's really important to me when I'm looking at a putter is I need to be able to putt from off the green, and this one is really good at that as well. And I feel like from shorter range I'm a lot better with it as well, so it's a win-win for me, really.
You know, if you ever lose confidence with that, you might move back to the blade.
Exactly.
I think putting is literally just confidence based, and you have confidence with that one right now, so it's working.
Yeah, completely. When I've got something so different, I can move back and forth if I need to. I'm not a massive tinkerer with clubs. When I find something I like, I tend to stick with it, which was the case for my old putter, and I think is going to be the case for this putter as well.
Almost.
Almost.
Maybe that would have gone in with the blade.
You can't hold them all. So TaylorMade have multiple different neck styles on their putter. I really prefer this one versus the long neck. I don't like how long necks look on putters, so I've got this really short, kind of bent, little bit offset. Really love the feel of this putter.
You also just want to be like Scotty.
Exactly. If I can putt like Scotty Scheffler, I'll be so happy.
And obviously we said we can't really talk too much about my equipment, but this here, my putter, is one of the putters that I have not got through work. I've had this for years and years and years, and I think it's just kind of like what you were saying about getting confidence with it. Like my putter, it's not forgiving, it's not really that soft, it's very kind of strong off the face, and if you don't hit it from the center, you know you're missing the putt. But I might be better off with a more forgiving and a newer putter, but I think there is a lot to be said about just having a putter that you're happy with, you've got confidence. That's the main thing. It's not necessarily the technology with a putter, it's how you feel about it.
Confidence is everything in putting, so if you find something you like, you stick with it.
100%.
Moving on to the ball, I play a Titleist Pro V1X. I absolutely love the feel around the greens with this. I also play a big blue line, which you've probably seen in some of our other videos, primarily for putting, but also I've started using it off the tee to help with my start line. And I feel like since I put this line into play, maybe 10 years ago with the putting, so when I was about 14, I put a line on my ball for the first time. And ever since then, from about 30 feet and in, I use the line on the ball. I'm a massive feel player. So when I find something that I like in terms of the ball, I know what I don't like. I really don't like soft feeling golf balls, and this is a fairly hard feeling golf ball. And I feel like the control around the green means that this is the one that I usually tend to play with. I find a lot of other golf balls out there, and sometimes I play with them when I'm not hitting it so good off the tee. But Pro V1X, I feel like I always shoot my best rounds when I play with this ball, and especially with the line, I always hold more putts.
I think when it comes to choosing between Pro V1 or Pro V1X, you've kind of got to choose between the feel and then a little bit on performance in terms of spin and stuff.
Yeah.
But your clubs are already designed for the spin that you want, so you're just going fully based on feel.
They are. I think I could play Pro V1 or Pro V1X, but I tend to play the Pro V1X just because I like the feel more with the longer clubs. And sometimes when me and G are playing our little team scrambles or alternate shots, we do play with G's silly balls from...
Silly balls!
Our little Pix balls from TaylorMade. She absolutely loves those. I'm not sure I'm as keen. I like a simple classic look, and that is probably why I prefer the Titleist Pro V1X.
Little like disclosure thing, obviously we both work for golf things. You work at a golf club, I work for a golf company. We get a lot of free golf balls, and that's kind of the reason that we're so happy playing with these really high level premium balls. Obviously it suits suits us because we play a lot of competitive golf, you know, we're low handicap golfers, but you don't necessarily need a premium ball. I've done a lot of testing with work on some of the like mid-tier golf balls. It depends what you're looking for in terms of performance. You don't have to go for Pro V1, Pro V1X. We maybe wouldn't use them all the time if they weren't so easily available to us because they get expensive.
Exactly, yeah, there's a lot of good golf balls out in the market. Let us know in the comments what ball you play, what kind of clubs you play, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more.
Good job.